Good day, everyone. Welcome to our class discussion. Today, we will discuss Chapter 1, which is the Introduction to Consumer Behavior. Consumer behavior is at the heart of marketing because it helps businesses understand why people buy, how they make decisions, and what influences their choices. In this chapter, we will explore how consumers think, feel, and act when selecting, using, and evaluating products or services. Understanding these behaviors allows businesses to design products, create effective marketing strategies, and build lasting relationships with customers. By studying consumer behavior, we learn not just what people buy, but why they buy it, and how companies can respond to meet their needs more effectively. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the importance of consumer behavior in marketing. Describe the nature and dynamics of consumer behavior. Third, discuss the role of research in understanding consumer behavior. Fourth, analyze the major concepts of consumer behavior. Fifth, explain how environmental scanning influences consumer decisions. Sixth, apply market segmentation, positioning, and differentiation strategies. And lastly, explain how consumer behavior contributes to product development and marketing mix decisions. Now let's start. What is really consumer behavior is? Before business can successfully market their products and service, they must first understand the people who purchase and use them. Marketing is not only about creating and selling products, it's about understanding consumer needs, preferences, and decision making processes. This leads us to the concept of consumer behavior. Now, when we talk about consumer behavior, this is the study of how individuals or groups select, purchase, use, and dispose of products, services, ideas, or experiences to satisfy their needs and wants. Consumer behavior focuses on understanding the activities and decisions that consumers make when interacting with products, services, or brands. It examines how people identify their needs, evaluate available choices, decide what to purchase, and determine whether their purchase provides satisfaction. Consumers may have similar needs, but their buying decisions can differ because of their personal preferences, experiences, financial capacity, social environment, and perceptions. For marketers, understanding consumer behavior is important because it helps them design products and strategies that are more responsive to customer expectations. Now, instead of simply producing products and convincing people to buy them, businesses analyze what consumer value and develop offerings that provide meaningful benefits. Let's say, for example, two customers may both need a smartphone, but one may prioritize camera quality for content creation, while another may prioritize battery life and affordability. Now, although the need is the same, their buying decision differ because their wants and preferences are different. Now, it focuses on thoughts, feelings, and action. So, consumer behavior focuses on the thought, feelings, and action. Now, consumer behavior does not only study the final purchase decision, but it also examines what happened in the customer's mind before and after purchasing. The thoughts of consumers involve their beliefs and perceptions or evaluation of products or brands. The feelings refers to the emotions and personal connection that influence their choices, while the action refers to their actual behavior, such as purchasing, using, recommending, or rejecting the product. So, understanding these aspects allows marketers to determine what influences customer decisions. And consumer behavior helps marketers understand why consumers behave the way they do and how to create value for them. This means that the primary purpose of studying consumer behavior is to help businesses understand the reason behind customer decisions. When marketers understand consumer motivations, they can create products, service, and marketing strategies that provide greater value. Creating value means offering something that satisfies customer needs while providing benefits that customers consider important. This may include product quality, convenience, affordability, customer service, or overall experience. Now, companies that understand their consumers are more capable of developing strong relationships and maintaining customer loyalty. So, for instance, an online shopping platform studies consumer behavior to understand why customers prefer certain products, how they search for information, and what factors encourage them to complete a purchase. Through this understanding, the company can improve its recommendations, promotions, and customer experiences. Now, the consumer decision process. First, let's talk about the consumer decision process that we have five here. The first one is need recognition. Now, when we talk about need recognition, this is about the consumer recognizes a need or a problem. The consumer decision process begins when an individual identifies a need or a problem that requires a solution. This need may come from internal factors such as hunger or personal goals, or internal factors such as advertisements, recommendations, or changes in lifestyle. So, for example, a student may realize that their existing laptop is no longer effective for completing academic requirements. This recognition creates the need to search for better alternative. Second is information search. The consumer looks for information from various sources. After recognizing a need, consumer begin gathering information to understand their available choices. They may use different sources such as online reviews, social media, advertisements, website, or recommendation from family or friends. The stage is important because consumer want to reduce uncertainty before making a purchase decisions. Now, marketers can influence consumers during this stage by providing accurate information, attractive promotion, and positive consumer experiences. Third is evaluation of alternatives. The consumer compares choices and evaluates the alternatives. During this stage, consumers compare different products or brands based on factors that are important to them. They evaluate alternatives by considering price, quality, features, convenience, and brand reputation. For example, before buying a laptop, a student may compare different brands based on performance, durability, price, and customer reviews to determine which option provides the best value. Fourth is purchase decision. The consumer decides to purchase the most preferred option, I'm sorry. So they will decide now to purchase the most preferred option. After evaluating alternatives, consumers select the product or service that they believe best satisfies their needs. However, the final decision may still be affected by other factors such as the discount, the product availability, payment options, or opinions from others. At this stage, marketers may ensure that the buying process is convenient and provides a positive experience to encourage consumers to complete the purchase. Fifth, post purchase evaluation. The consumer evaluates satisfaction, may buy again or not. Consumer behavior continues even after the purchase has been completed. Consumer evaluate whether the product meet their expectation. If they are satisfied, they may become loyal customers, purchase again, and recommend the product to others. If they are dissatisfied, they may complain, switch brand, or share negative feedback. The stage highlights the importance of customer satisfaction because long-term business success depends not only on attracting customer but also on retaining them. So, for example, a student need a laptop, that's a need recognition, searches online, which is the information search, compares brand, which is evaluation, buys the laptop, which is the purchase decision, and share a review or recommend it, which is the um, post purchase evaluation. This example shows how consumer decisions happen through a step by step process. Now, marketers need to understand each stage because they can create strategies that support customers throughout their buying journey. By providing the right information, value, and experience at every stage, businesses can increase customer satisfaction and build long term relationship. Now, let's move forward to the focus on consumer behavior. So, after understanding what consumer behavior means, it is important to know why business need to study their customers. Knowing how consumers think and decide helps companies create better products and develop effective marketing strategies. So, consumer behavior is at the foundation of effective marketing. Now, consumer behaviors serve as the foundation of marketing because business need to understand their customers before creating strategies. Now, by knowing what consumer customers need, want, and prefer, companies can create products that are more useful, set appropriate prices, make products available in convenient places, and create advertisement that customer can relate to. Now, why is it important? Why is consumer behavior important? First is to understand consumers better. It actually helps marketers understand what consumers think, feel, do, and why they make purchase decisions. Consumer behavior helps business understand why customers choose certain products. It looks at their thoughts, feelings, and actions to determine what influence their buying decisions. So, next is to meet needs and wants. Of course, it enables businesses to identify and satisfy the real needs and wants of their customers. Businesses need to know what customers are looking for so they can provide products that solve problems and give satisfactions. Understanding customers' needs help companies create products that consumers truly value. A restaurant study, for example, they study customer preferences and adds healthier food choices because customers are becoming more health conscious. Third is improve marketing strategies. It guides the development of effective marketing strategies, programs, and communications. Understanding consumers' behavior helps companies decide the best way to promote and sell their products. It allows marketers to choose the right message, price, platform, and approach for their target customers. A business targeting young customers may use social media because this is where their customers are more active. Fourth, create value and satisfaction. It helps companies create superior value and satisfy customers, leading to loyalty. When businesses understand what customers value, they can provide better products and experiences. Satisfied customers are more likely to return and recommend the business to others. A customer continues buying from an online store because of a good products, fast delivery, and excellent service, for example. And lastly, to gain competitive advantage, it provides insight that leads to better decisions and a stronger positions in the marketplace. So consumer behavior gives businesses an advantage because they can make better decisions based on customer preferences. Companies that understand their customers can respond faster to changes and compete more effectively. So basically, when we understand consumers, we can serve them better, build stronger relationships, and achieve business success. Now, let's talk about the three major strategies. After understanding the importance of consumer behavior, business must know how to respond to changing consumer needs and preferences. Marketers use different strategies to create value, understand customers, and connect them effectively. Now, first is provide customers with value laden products. This means that they deliver products that provides value to customers, focus on quality, affordability, and customer satisfaction. Develop products that respond to changing consumer needs. So this is the first strategy, which focus on creating product the consumer find valuable. Businesses should not only focus on selling product, but also ensure that these product provides quality, solve customer problems, and meet their expectations. Consumer customers are more likely to support businesses that offer products that are useful, affordable, and satisfying. Let's say, for example, in the Philippines, Jollibee Food Corporation continuously introduces new menu option items and value meals to adapt to changing customer preferences and provide more choices to consumers. Second is focus on consumer and marketing research. This means that they will conduct or businesses conduct research to understand customer needs, gather consumer information for better decision making, improve products and service based on research findings. This is the second stage, which highlights the importance of knowing customers through research. Businesses cannot simply guess what customers want. They need information about their behaviors, preferences, and buying patterns. Through research, companies can make better decisions and improve their products or services based on actual customer needs. For example, in the Shopee in the Philippines, it analyzes customer browsing and purchasing behavior to recommend products and improve the online shopping experiences. Third is the use of internet as a marketing tool. Businesses reach a wider market through digital platforms. They build customer engagement through online channels and also adopt marketing strategies to changing buying habits. Now, the internet class has changed how businesses connect with customers. Through digital platform, companies can promote products, communicate with customers, and reach a larger audience beyond their physical location. Businesses need to adapt because many consumers nowadays search, compare, and purchase products online. Let's say, for example, in the Philippine setting, TikTok Shop. The TikTok Shop is worldwide, but in the Philippines, it allows businesses to reach millions of consumers through live selling, short videos, and digital marketing strategies. So, to understand and respond to changing consumer behavior, marketing should focus on these three strategies. Successful businesses understand that consumer behavior constantly changes. By providing valuable products, studying customer through the research, and using digital platform, companies can better satisfy customers and build stronger relationships. Now let's talk about the dynamics in understanding consumer behavior. After understanding the strategies that businesses use to respond to consumer behavior, it is also important to understand the nature of consumer behavior itself. Consumer behavior is not only about buying products, it involves the thoughts, feelings, action, and exchange that happen between consumers and businesses. Now, the nature of consumer behavior. It involves the human processes of thinking, feeling, and action. Consumer behavior is influenced by how people think, what they feel, how they act when making purchase decisions. Before buying a product, consumer consider their needs, emotions, preferences, and experiences. So for example, if they buy smartphone, they are not only buying the smartphone when it is considering or they are considering about the price, but also they think about the features, feel excited about owning a new device, and decides whether to purchase it. Sec- Next is the interactive process of consumer behavior. how people think, feel, and act towards new and innovative products. Consumer behavior is an interactive process because consumers and business continuously influence each other. When companies introduce new products, consumers respond based on their needs, experiences, and expectations. Businesses use these responses to improve their products and create better offering that match customer preferences. And lastly, the consumer exchange process. People will give up something of value to others in exchange for something in return to satisfy their human wants. The consumer exchange process happens when buyers and sellers provide something valuable to each other. Consumers gives money, time, effort, while businesses provide a product, service, or experiences that satisfy customers' needs. Lastly, the prerequisite of exchange. The prerequisite of exchange, there are two or more parties must be present. The parties must have something that is of value. They are free to accept or reject the other offer, and the parties believe that the transaction is appropriate and desirable. For an exchange to happen, both the buyer and the seller must participate. Each side must have something valuable to offer, and both are ag- willingly agree to the transaction. Consumers have that freedom to choose whether they will purchase a product or not, while businesses must ensure that their products provide enough value to encourage customers. Since consumer behavior involves understanding the thoughts, feelings, and action of customers, businesses need research to better understand why consumer make certain decisions. Research provide valuable information that helps marketers make certain decisions. And it also helps marketers to create better strategies and satisfy customers' needs. There are major approaches used to understand consumer behavior. The first approach is the interpretive approach. It seeks to understand the meaning behind consumer behavior, exploring thoughts, emotions, experiences, and culture influences. It uses interviews, focus groups, and observations. It helps marketers understand the emotional and psychological reasons behind consumer choices. The interpretative approach focuses on understanding the deeper reasons behind consumer decisions. It looks at what customers think, feel, and experience when choosing products. Third approach is the traditional approach. It explains consumer behavior using theories from psychology, sociology, and behavioral science. It uses surveys, experiments, and questionnaires, provides reliable data that helps businesses understand buying patterns and improve marketing strategies. This traditional approach use established theories and research method to explain consumer behavior. It studies pattern in how people make decisions and why certain factors influence their purchases. Through surveys and experiments, businesses can gather information that helps them predict customer preferences and improve their marketing strategies. And lastly is marketing science approach. This applies economics, statistics, mathematical model to predict consumer behavior and support marketing decisions. Analyzes large sets of consumer data and enable marketers to make evidence-based decisions, reduce uncertainty, and improve business performance through data analytics. This approach helps or allows business to make decisions based on actual evidence rather than assumptions. So consumer behavior research helps businesses understand customers from different perspectives. The interpretative approach explains the emotions and experiences behind buying decision. The traditional approach identifies patterns through established research methods, and the marketing science approach uses data and analytics to predict consumer behavior. Together, these approaches help marketers create more effective strategies and build stronger relationship with customers. Now, there are areas of consumer behavior concept, and let's talk about it. First is market research. Consumer behavior. behavioral concept can be applied in market research. Market research helps business collect information about customers, including their needs, preferences, and buying behavior. By understanding consumers, companies can create products and strategies that are more suitable for their target customers. Second is environmental scanning and analysis. Consumer behavior concepts can be applied in environmental scanning and analysis. Environmental scanning means that studying changes in the market, society, technology, economic, and competitors that may affect consumer behavior. Businesses need to understand these changes so they can adjust their strategies and respond to new customer demands. Third, market segmentation. Consumer behavioral concept can be applied in market segmentation as well. Market segmentation involves dividing customers into groups based on similar characteristic needs, preferences, or buying behaviors. By identifying different customer groups, businesses can create more specific marketing strategies instead of using one approach for everyone. Fourth, product positioning and differentiation. Consumer behavioral concept can be applied in product positioning and differentiations. Product positioning focuses on how customers perceive product compared with competitors, while differentiation focuses on creating unique features that make a product stands out. Understanding consumer preferences helps businesses develop a strong identity and create reasons why customers should choose their product. And lastly, marketing mix development. Consumer behavior guides businesses in developing the right product, price, place, and promotional strategies. Understanding customers helps companies decide what products to offer, how much customers are willing to pay, where to sell, and how to communicate with them. So consider behavioral concepts are important tools in marketing because they help businesses understand customers and make better choices. Through market research, environmental analysis, segmentation, positioning, and marketing mix development, companies can create strategies that better satisfy customers and consumer needs and build stronger customer relationships. After understanding the different areas where consumer behavior concepts are applied, one of the most important tools used by businesses is market research. Market research helps companies gather information about consumers so they can better understand their needs, preferences, and buying decisions. So, market research is an applied research process that gathers information about consumers to help businesses understand their needs, preferences, attitudes, and buying behavior. It provides valuable insight that supports effective marketing decisions. Instead of making decisions based only on assumptions, companies use research data to create products, improve the services, and develop effective marketing strategies. Let's start to the number one, information processing and behavioral learning. Studies how consumers receive, process, store, and use information and how learning influences their buying behavior. Consumers are exposed to many advertisement and product information every day. These area studies how people understand information, remember experiences, and use what they learn when making purchase decisions. Second, personality and motivation examines how a person's unique traits, values, needs, and motives influence consumer behavior. Consumers have different personalities, interests, and reasons for buying products. Understanding these differences helps businesses create products and messages that connect with specific customers. So, for example, some customers or consumer buy eco-friendly products because they value environmental protection, while others prioritize affordability and convenience. Third is decision making and the influence of groups. Explores how consumers make decisions and how family, friends, reference groups, and social influences affect those decisions. Consumer decisions are often influenced by people around them. These are the families, friends, online reviews, and social media, which can affect what product consumer choose. So, example, if a person may purchase a product because it was recommended by a friend or because many people are using it online. Fourth, the level of customer satisfaction. This measures how satisfied consumers are with products or services and how satisfaction influence loyalty and future purchases. Customer satisfaction shows whether a product or service meets customers' need expectation. Satisfied customers are more likely to return, recommend the business, and develop loyalty towards the brand. Now, why market research is very important? First is to really understand consumer needs and preferences. Second is to improve and refine marketing strategies. Third, evaluate the effectiveness of ads and promotion. Fourth, understand consumers' buying decisions. And lastly, is to support better business decision making. So, market research is essential because it allows businesses to understand the mind, behavior, and preference of consumers. So, examples such as Jollibee Food Corporation, Shopee, and Coca Cola Company invest in market research because understanding consumer helps them create products and strategies that are more likely to succeed. By studying how customers think, decide, and respond, companies can create better products, improve customer satisfaction, and build stronger marketing strategies. Now, after understanding how market research help s- businesses study consumers, we now look deeper into how consumers receive and respond to information. Consumers do not immediately buy products, they first process information, develop understanding, and form opinions that influence their purchasing decisions. Now, information processing and behavioral learning explains how consumers receive, interpret, remember, and respond to marketing information, shaping their attitudes and buying decisions. Consumers are exposed to different marketing messages every day, such as advertisement, promotions, and products. So the process involves how consumer notice information, understand it, learn from experiences, and create opinions about products. First, of course, is exposure. Consumer encounter advertisement, promotion, and other marketing messages through various media and touch points. Exposure happens when consumer come across information about a product or brand. This can happen through television, advertisement, social media posts, online reviews, or physical stores. The more often consumers see a brand, the more familiar they become with it. Second, attention and interpretation. Cons- Consumers pay attention to information that is relevant to their needs and interpret the message based on their experiences and values. Consumers do not pay attention to all information they receive. They focus on messages that are meaningful or useful to them. Their interpretations depends on their personal experiences, beliefs, and expectations. Third is learning. Through experience and reputations, consumer learn and store information that influences future brand preferences and buying behavior. Learning what happens when consumer gain knowledge from their experiences with a product or from repeated exposure to a brand. Positive experiences can encourage customers to buy again, while negative experiences may cause them to avoid the product. And lastly is perception. Consumer form positive or negative perception based on how they evaluate products, attributes, quality, packaging, and past experiences. Perceptions refers to how consumers view and evaluate a product or brand. Two customers may see the same product differently because they have different experiences and expectation. A strong positive perception can influence customers to choose one brand over competitors. So example, this Coca-Cola. A consumer repeatedly sees Coca-Cola advertisement during sporting events. Over time, the brand becomes familiar, creating positive perceptions and increasing the likelihood of purchase. This example shows how repeated exposure builds familiarity and influences consumers' behavior. When customers frequently see a brand associated with positive experiences, they are more likely to remember and choose that brand when making a purchase. Let's talk about personality and motivation. After understanding how consumers process information and form perceptions, we now examine the personal factors that influence why consumers choose certain products and brands. Two important factors that shape consumers' decisions are personality and motivation. Personality refers to the unique characteristic of individuals that influences product preferences, market segmentation, and responses to marketing messages. Motivation, on the other hand, is the internal drive that encourages consumers to satisfy their needs and wants through purchasing decisions. Consumers do not buy products only because they need them. Their personality, lifestyle goals, and personal motivations also affects their choices. Businesses study these factors to understand what products appeal to different types of customers. Personality explain who the customer is, while motivation explain why the consumer buys it. Let's talk about personality. Personal traits, and characteristics, lifestyle and self-image, and brand preferences. This is talking about the personality. Now, personality refers to the qualities and characteristics that makes each consumer different. These differences influenced by products they prefer, the brands they trust, and how they respond to advertisement. Consumers often choose brands that match their identity or the image they want to show to others. Next is motivation. This involves needs and wants, goals and desires, reactions to advertisements, and promotion. Motivation is the reason behind a consumer's action. It is the internal force that encourages people to buy product to satisfy a need, achieve a goal, or fulfill a desire. Marketers create advertisements that connect with consumers' motivation to encourage purchase decisions. And lastly, customer impact. This involves shapes product choice, influence purchasing decisions, and affect brand loyalty. Both the personality and motivation greatly influence how consumers choose products and develop relationship with brands. When a product matches a consumer's personality and satisfies their needs, they are more likely to purchase again and become loyal customers. So let's say, for example, this Nike and Adidas. A fitness enthusiast is more likely to purchase Nike and Adidas sportswear because these brands align with their lifestyle, personal identity, and motivation to maintain an active life. This example shows that consumers often select brands that represent who they are and who they want to become. Nike and Adidas do not only sell sportswear, they also sell an image of confidence, health, and active lifestyle. Now, let's talk about decision making and their influences to groups. After understanding how personality and motivation influences individual buying decision, now we look at another important factor that affects consumer behavior, the influence of other people. Consumers do not always make decisions alone because their choices are often shaped by family, friends, communities, and social groups. Let's talk about this. Consumers rarely make decisions alone. Their buying choice are influenced by people around them, which is first, family. So family members are the strongest influence of consumer decisions, especially for important and expensive purchases. They play an important role in purchasing decision because family members share needs, values, and experiences. So their opinion can influence choices, especially when buying products that involves large expenses. Second is friends. Friends affect choices through suggestions, recommendations, and shape experiences. Sorry. Third is preference groups, groups we belong to. The classmates, the colleagues, organizations influence our beliefs, attitudes, and behavior. And then lastly, social media and online communities. Now, review influencers and online communities strongly shape consumer perceptions and decisions. So, basically, consumers are highly influenced by online platforms. The reviews, the ratings, the recommendation from influencer can affect how customers view product before making a purchase. Now, how groups influence consumer decisions? First is provide information. Groups provide information, knowledge, and recommendation about products and brand. People often rely on others to gather information before buying. Recommendation from trusted individual help consumer make better decisions. Second is to create social pressure. Consumer may conform to group norms or expectation. Sometimes consumers purchase products because they wanted to fit in or follow what is acceptable by their group. Third is shape attitudes and preferences. Group helps shape what we like, value, and consider important. The people around us can influence our interests and preferences. Over time, these influence affects the brand and product we choose. Lastly, build loyalty and advocacy. Positive group influence can lead to brand loyalty and word of mouth promotion. When consumers have positive experiences with brand and share them with others, they help promote the product. This creates trust and encourage other people to try the brand. So, example, a student may choose to buy a certain brand of sneakers because their friend and owns it. It is popular in their school, or it is recommended by an influencer they follow online. This example shows that buying decisions are not always based on a personal need. Social influence, popularity, and recommendation can also affect what consumers choose. Now, let's talk about the level of customer satisfaction. After understanding how consumers make decisions and how different groups influence their choices, the next important factor is what happens after the purchase. A successful business does not only focus on attracting customers but also on ensuring that customers are satisfied and willing to return. So, customer satisfaction is the extent to which the product or service meets or exceeds customer expectation. It strongly influences repeat purchases, brand loyalty, and long term business success. Customer satisfaction refers to how happy customers are after using a product or service. When business meets, exceeds what customers expect, customers are more likely to buy again, recommend the brand to others, and develop loyalty. Now, what factors that affect customer satisfaction? First is product quality. The product should be reliable, durable, and perform as promised. Customer expects products to provide the benefits they are promised. A product that has a good quality has consistently performed well, creates trust and satisfaction. Second is price. The price should be fair and provide good value for money. Customers evaluate whether the price of a product is reasonable compared to the quality and benefits they can receive. A product does not always need to be cheapest, but customers should feel that they receive value from their purchase, like what they paid for the service or product that they are actually paying. Next is service quality. Friendly, helpful, and efficient service enhances overall satisfaction. So the way employee interact with customers affect their overall experience. Of course, good customer service makes customer feel valued and respected. Fourth, convenience. The easy access, availability, and smooth transaction improve the satisfaction of the customer. Customer prefer business that make purchasing easy and convenient. Simple ordering process, accessible location, and fast transaction improve the customer experience. And lastly, expectations. Satisfaction depend on how well the product or service meets or exceed expectation. Customers compare their actual experiences with what they expect before buying. If the experience is better than expected, customers may become satisfied. However, if the product fails to meet expectation, dissatisfaction may occur. Now, let's talk about the SM store as an example. A customer who enjoys clean stores, quality products, affordable prices, and friendly staff at SM store is likely to return and recommend it to others. These examples shows what that customer satisfaction is not only based. Example is okay. All right. So basically, the example for the SM store shows that customer satisfaction is not based on only one factor. Customer consider the overall experience, including the product quality, price, service, and convenience. When customers have a positive experience, they are more likely to repeat purchase, brand loyalty, or satisfied customer develop a preference for a brand and continue supporting it. And lastly, positive word of mouth. So happy customers share their experiences with family, friends, and other potential buyers. Customer satisfaction is essential for business success because satisfied customer more than just buy products. They return, stay loyal, encourage others to support the brand. Environmental scanning and analysis. So let's talk about this. Now, after understanding how consumers think, decide, and respond to products, businesses must also look beyond the customers and examine the external fact environment. Changes in society, technology, competition, and market conditions can create opportunities or challenges for business. Environmental scanning and analysis is the process of assessing external forces that influence an organization and its target consumers. It helps businesses identify opportunities, recognize threats, and develop effective marketing strategies. So, environmental scanning means observing and analyzing changes outside the business that may affect its success. Companies need to understand what is happening in the market and what customers want and what challenges may arise. Now, by studying the external environment, businesses can prepare better strategies, take advantage of opportunities, and reduce possible risks. The external environment includes factors outside the control of the business, such as uh, so economic conditions, technology, customer trends, competitors, and social changes. Businesses cannot control these factors, but they can study and respond to them. The increasing use of online shopping encourages businesses to develop digital platforms to reach more customers. Market opportunities. Market opportunities are situations that businesses can use to grow and improve. These opportunities usually come from changes in customer needs, new technologies, or emerging market trends. Companies that recognize opportunities early can create products and services that better satisfy customers. The growing demand of healthier food creates opportunities for businesses to offer nutritious products as example. Third is potential threats. Well, threats are external factors that may negatively affect a business. This may include strong competitors, changing customer preferences, and economic problems or new regulations. Identifying threats allow businesses to create plans to minimize their possible impact. A company may face a threat when competitors introduce cheaper products with similar quality. Understanding consumer behavior helps. I'm sorry. So let's talk about consumer behavior. Now, understanding consumer behavior, as we always mention, helps businesses know how customers think, what they need, and why they make certain buying decisions. By studying consumer behavior, companies can develop products and marketing strategies that match customer expectation. And lastly, strategic marketing decisions. The information gathered through environmental scanning helps businesses make better marketing decisions. Companies use this insight to decide what products to offer, who to target, how to promote, and how to compete effectively. For example, a smartphone company monitors market trends and discovered that consumers prefer devices with longer battery life. The company responds by developing products that better match changing customer needs. This example shows how businesses use environmental analysis to understand consumer preferences. Instead of waiting for customers to complain, the company studies changes in the market and creates solutions that respond to customer needs. Now, let's talk about the external forces of the environment. After understanding environmental scanning and analysis, we now focus on different external forces that influence consumer behavior and market decisions. First, let's talk about what are the external forces. These are the factors outside the organization that can greatly influence consumer behavior and marketing decisions. Understanding these forces helps the business identify both opportunities and threats. Sorry, in the marketplace. Now, what are these external forces of the environment? These are first demographic factors. Demographic factors refer to the characteristic of the people in the market. Businesses study these factors because different groups of consumers have different needs, preferences, and buying behaviors. Understanding demographic helps companies decide what products to offer and who their target customers are. Second is group influences. The impact of reference groups, family, social class, and culture and consumer attitudes and behaviors. So, consumers are influenced by the people and groups around them. Their family, their friends, social communities, and the culture values can affect what product people prefer and what brands they support. Third is situational environment. These are the specific situations or conditions that affect consumer needs, motives, and purchasing behavior. Consumer decisions can change depending on their situation or circumstances. Factors such as the time, allocation, occasions, and current need can influence what and when people buy. And lastly, marketing opportunities and threats. External factors create both opportunities for growth and potential threats that may affect business success. Change in the environment can create advantages or disadvantages for businesses. Opportunities allow companies to grow, while threats may create difficulties that require proper strategies. Successful businesses continuously monitor changes in the market to take advantage of opportunities and reduce the risk. So, for example, the growth of online shopping creates an opportunity for businesses to sell through digital platforms, but it also creates threat because of increased competitions. Now, let's talk about the economic environment. The economic environment includes the monetary, natural, and human resources that influence consumer behavior. These factors affect purchasing power, choices, and demand for products and services. Now, it influences how much consumer can afford, what products they prioritize, and how often they make purchases. So when the economy changes, consumer behavior also changes. Now let's talk about the economic environment factors. First is the income, the total earnings of individuals and households that affect their ability to buy. Income determines a consumer's purchasing ability. So people with higher income usually have more options and may purchase premium products, while those with limited income may prioritize affordable and essential products. So businesses study income levels to identify their target market and create products with suitable prices. Second, resources. The availability of natural and human resources that support production and distribution. Resources are the materials, the skills, the people needed to create and deliver products. The availability of resources affect product quality, production costs, and the ability of businesses to meet customers' demand. Third is the purchasing power. These are the capacity of consumers to buy goods and services based on their income and prices. Purchasing powers ho- refers to how much consumer can afford to buy. It depends on their income and the prices of products. When prices increase but income remains the same, consumer may reduce their purchases. Lastly is consumer buying behavior. The way consumer choose, purchase, purchase, use and evaluate products and services. The economic condition influence how consumer make buying decisions. So when consumer have confidence in their financial situation, they may spend more. However, when they face financial challenges, they become more careful with their purchases. So businesses need to understand these changes to adjust their products, pricing, and marketing strategy. Now, the economic environment plays an important role in shaping consumer behavior. Factors such as income, available resources, financial or purchasing power, and buying patterns influence what consumers buy and how businesses respond to market changes. Understanding the economic environment helps companies create strategies that match customers' needs and market conditions. Now, let's talk about the behavioral economics. So, behavioral economic is the study of how economic factors affect individuals and groups in making decisions. It considers psychological, social, and emotional preferences influences that shape consumer choices beyond rational thinking. Their decisions are influenced not only by money but also by emotions, experiences, social influences, and personal preferences. Now let's take a look at on the behavioral economics factors. Let's talk about the economic decisions. Now, because consumer or individuals make choices based on perceived value, cost, and expected benefits. Consumer usually compare what they will receive when a product with what they need to spend. They consider whether the product provides enough value for the price they pay. Example, a customer may buy a more expensive smartphone because they believe it offers better features and longer durability. Second is the attitudes. Consumer attitudes towards products, brands, and service influences preferences and willingness to buy. Attitudes are the feelings and opinions consumer develop towards a product or brand. Positive experiencing can build trust, while negative experiences can discourage customers from purchasing it. Third is the motives. Motivation drive consumer behavior by satisfying needs, wants, and personal goals. Motives are the reason why consumers decide to buy something. So people purchase products because they want to solve a problem, to satisfy a need, or to achieve a personal goal. And lastly, consumer choices. Economic factors, attitudes, motive work together to shape purchasing decisions. Consumer choices are the result of different factors working together. A person's financial situation, personal belief, emotions, and needs are all influence what they choose to buy. So, people are not always perfectly rational. Their experiences, beliefs, and emotions play a significant role in how they respond to economic situations. So consumers do not always make decisions based purely on facts or prices. Their past experiences, personal values, emotions influence how they react to product brands and market situations. Now, by understanding these behaviors helps businesses create better products, communicate effectively, and develop marketing strategies that connect with customers. Now, let's talk about the natural environment. Aside from the economic factor, consumer behavior is also affected by the natural environment. The availability of the resources, environmental conditions, and changes in nature can influence how businesses operate and how consumers make purchasing decisions. The natural environment consists of physical and biological resources and conditions that affect the availability of materials, production processes, and well-being of consumer. First is the availability of the raw materials. These refers to the supply of important raw materials needed for production such as oil, minerals, wood, and other natural products. Business need raw materials to produce goods. When these resources become limited or expensive, companies may experience higher costs, which can affect product prices. A shortage of agricultural products due to poor harvest may increase food prices. So, second is pollution. This refers to contaminants in the air, water, land, and even affect human health, ecosystems, and the quality of life. Pollution affects both business and consumers. Companies are encouraged to use environmentally friendly practices because consumers are becoming more aware of environmental issues. Third is weather conditions. Weather patterns such as the typhoon, drought, or extreme heat can affect crops, supply chain, and consumer buying behavior. Weather changes, the weather changes can affect production, transportation, and the availability of products. When natural events disrupt supply, prices, and consumer choices may also be changed. And lastly, health and social conditions. This refers to diseases, sanitation, education, and social economic conditions in urban or rural areas that influence consumer needs and behavior. The condition of society affects what consumers need and how they make decisions. Health concerns, income levels, and access to basic services influence purchasing patterns. So, natural resources and environmental conditions have a direct impact on business operations costs and the well being of consumers. So, businesses must understand the natural environment because changes in nature can affect production, pricing, and customer behavior. Companies that adapt to environmental changes can create better strategies and respond to consumer needs more effectively. Now, let's talk about market segmentation. Market segmentation is the process of dividing a broad market into distinct groups of consumers who have similar needs, characteristics, or behaviors. Proper segmentation helps businesses design strategies that meet the needs of target markets more effectively. So instead of offering the same products to everyone, businesses identify specific groups to create products, prices, and marketing strategies that match their needs. For example, a clothing company may create different products for students, professionals, and athletes because each group has different preferences and buying behaviors. So let's talk about the measurability. So measurability, the segment must be measurable in terms of size. These are the factors for market segmentations. Purchasing power and characteristic accurate data is really necessary to identify and evaluate the segment. A market segment should be clearly identified and measured. Businesses need information about the number of customers, their income level, preferences, and buying ability before deciding whether a segment is worth targeting. Second is accessibility. The segment must be reachable and able to be served through the company's distribution channels and marketing efforts. A group of customers may have a need for a product, but businesses must ensure they can reach and serve them effectively through available channels. Third is substantiality. The segment must be large and profitable enough to justify the development of marketing programs and factories allocation. A market segment should have enough customers and potential profit to make business efforts worthwhile. Companies must consider whether serving a specific group will generate enough returns. Lastly, is differentiability. The segment must have clear differences from other segments in terms of needs, preferences, or behavior. Different customer groups should have different characteristics that require different marketing approach. If all groups have the same needs, separating them will not provide much benefit. Therefore, effective market segmentation allows businesses to focus their resources, deliver value of the right customer, and achieve competitive advantage. Market segmentations help businesses understand who their customers are and what they need. By focusing on the right target market, companies can create better products, communicate more effectively, and build stronger relationship with customers. So after identifying the target market through segmentations, businesses must also understand a competitive environment. Knowing competitors help companies identify their position in the market, improve their strategies, and create better value for customers. Competitive analysis is the process of identifying and evaluating current and potential competitors, their strategies, strengths, and weaknesses. It helps businesses understand the competitive landscape and identify opportunities to gain a competitive advantage. Competitive analysis helps companies understand what competitors are doing well, where they are lacking, and how the business can improve its own strategies. Now, by analyzing competitors, businesses can make better decisions about pricing, product development, promotions, and customer service. Now, let's take a look at these factors affecting competitive analysis. So, first thing that you need to do or consider is to identify your competitors. Identify both direct and indirect competitors in the market, including existing and emerging players. The first step in competitive analysis is knowing who your competitors are. Direct competitors offer similar products, while indirect competitors provide alternative solutions to customer needs. For example, if a milk tea business, another milk tea shop is a direct competitor, while coffee shops may be indirect competitors because they also satisfy customers looking for beverages. Right? Second is analyze the strength. Evaluate competitor strengths such as the product pricing, marketing, distribution, and brand reputation. Businesses should identify what makes competitors successful. Now, understanding their strength allows companies to learn from their strategies and determine how they can compare effectively. Third is analyze weaknesses. They should assess competitors' weaknesses and vulnerabilities that your business can leverage for advantage. Studying competitors' weaknesses help businesses find opportunities to provide something better. These weaknesses can become areas where a company can differentiate itself. And lastly, develop strategies. Use the insight to develop effective strategies that differentiate your business and meet customer needs better. After analyzing competitors, businesses should create strategies that make them unique. The goal is not simply to copy competitors, but to develop better ways to serving customers. Therefore, understanding your competitors help you anticipate their moves, improve your strategies, and position your business for long-term success. Competitive analysis allows businesses to stay prepared in a changing marketplace. Now, by knowing competitors' actions and customer preferences, companies can develop stronger strategies and create better value and maintain a competitive advantage. Next is we're going to discuss the product positioning and differentiation. So after analyzing competitors, business need to determine how they want customers to perceive their product compared to other choices in the market. This is where product positioning and differentiation becomes important because they help business create unique identity and stand out from competitors. Positioning is how a product is defined in the minds of consumers relative to competing brands. Differentiation, on the other hand, is the process of creating a product that is perceived as unique and superior in some important ways. Product positioning refers to the image or impression that customers have about the product compared to other brands. It answers actually the questions why should customer choose this product over the others? While differentiation is that some creating something that makes a product different and more valuable compared to the competitors. So this difference can be based on quality, features, price, design, service, or customer experience. So example, if a smartphone brand may position itself as a premium and innovative product, while another brand may differentiate itself by offering affordable smartphone with reliable features. Now, why is it matter? Of course, in the market where many products can satisfy the same need, effective positioning and differentiation help businesses stand out, attract target customers, build brand preferences, and create long term loyalty. A strong position helps customers remember the brand and develop trust. When customers see the product as unique and valuable, they are more likely to prefer it and remain loyal. So, what are the key benefits of product positioning and differentiation? First is stand out in the market. It helps your product be noticed and remembered among many alternatives. A unique product identity helps business capture customer attention. When a product has a clear advantage, customer can easily recognize and remember it. Second is create value in the mind, builds a strong perception of quality, benefits, and uniqueness. Now, customers do not only buy products, they also buy the value and experience associated with them. A strong brand image helps customers believe that the product provides greater benefits. Third is build customer preferences and loyalty. While consumers' preference stay loyal to products that meet their needs better. When a product consistently satisfies customers, they are more likely to continue purchasing and recommending it to others. Lastly, is support higher price and profitability. Well, a well-positioned product can command premium pricing and stronger margin. Customers are often willing to pay more for products they perceive as having higher quality, better value, or unique benefits. So successful business do not only compete by selling products. They compete by creating companies can attract customer creating a strong identity in the minds of customers. Now, by making products unique and meaningful, companies can attract customers, build loyalty, and achieve long term competitive advantage. And lastly, is marketing mix development. Now, after understanding consumer needs, market segments, competitors, and products positioning, business must now develop strategies on how to deliver value to customers. This is done through the marketing mix, which involves decisions about the product, promotion, pricing, and distribution or place. The theories and concepts of consumer behavior involves the initiation and coordination of activities concerning the development of products, promotion, pricing, and play distribution or play strategy. Business use information about consumer behavior to decide what products to offer, how much to charge, how to promote them, and how to make them available to customers. The marketing mix helps business deliver the right value to the right customers and achieve their marketing goals. First is the development of new product. This actually involves generating of ideas, designing, testing, and introducing new products or improving existing ones to meet consumer needs and wants. Now, product development involves creating or improving products based on what customer needs and preferences. Businesses study consumer feedback and market trends to develop products that provides better value. Next is the promotion. Promotion involves communicating the value of the product and persuading target markets, consumers, through advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relations. Well, it helps create awareness, build interest, and communicate why customers should choose particular products. Third is pricing. This involves setting the right price for the product based on its value, consumer demand, and competition, and companies' objectives. Well, pricing is an important decision because customers consider whether a product is worth the amount they pay. Businesses must balance customers' affordability with the need to earn profit. And lastly is distribution or place. Distribution focuses on delivering products where and when customers need them. Businesses must choose effective channel such as a physical store, online platforms, or delivery services. Consumer behavior serves as the foundation for developing products and marketing strategies that satisfy customer needs. So, understanding behavior allows businesses to make better marketing decisions. When companies knows what consumer wants, they can create valuable products, effective promotion, suitable prices, and convenient distribution methods that improve customer satisfaction and business success. So that will be all for our discussion. And thank you so much for listening. See you in my next video. Have a great day.